We're here. It's day one, Colorado. I'm hunting with Justin today. Let's do it.
All righty.
We had high expectations coming in this year because it's such a great trip. About a week before the season, we saw that the weather just turned warm. 50, 60 degree days, and we were like, uh-oh, this might be a little rougher year. And the deer were really sporadic. Sometimes they'd be out in the sunshine, sometimes they wouldn't. So we were glassing all different times during the day, just not seeing the quality of, the bucks that we normally see out here.
I don't see him anymore, do you?
He's right inside the brush right there.
The traditions of the outdoor sportsman are more important than ever, and it's up to us to pass them on to others. Two families, one passion. To inspire the next generation of ethical hunters and conservationists, continuing the legacy of hunting and fishing in the outdoors.
We come here, this is a great trip for us. We bring the Kryptek guys up here, and a lot of times we get super busy in the season. I'm going one direction, Mike's going the other, and it's super hard. We don't normally get to hunt together, so anyway, it's good to get out and see the Kryptek boys. This is our annual trip, and have a good time. Spend some time with Butch and Justin, and just get out and we love mule deer hunting. This is a great place to come mule deer hunting.
So this is my fourth season here at Bull Basin Outfitters in Colorado. We had high expectations coming in this year because it's such a great trip. And as we started watching the calendar, we always start watching about a month out, just kind of seeing what it's doing, and it dumped a really big storm. So we got pretty excited, doing little checks with the guides and the outfitters and checking everything out. And about a week before the season, we saw that the weather just turned warm. 50, 60 degree days, 20 degree mornings, and we were like, uh-oh, this might be a little rougher year. As we opened up the first morning, we kind of, had been talking, and, this is one of those years that you don't wait a whole long time and wait for all the bucks to come piling through. Just because we weren't seeing the weather. And this corridor that we hunt is a migration corridor, and when it snow piles in the backcountry, the deer start piling through. So I got paired up with Clint this year, and Clint and I got to hunt last year together, and Clint ended up not getting a buck last year, and the year before he didn't get a buck. So I told Clint he was up first morning, and so first day we went out.
We're here. It's day one, Colorado. I'm hunting with Justin today. Kryptek, my
Christmas morning.
Christmas morning.
Not really Christmas morning, but it feels like
we're
Christmas
going for
morning.
the 200. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Got our new guide. Eli, he's a 200 carrier. So here we go. So that's kind of a 200 carrier.
There you go.
Is that a word?
I don't know, but it is now.
Oh, whatever. Let's do it.
All righty.
Here in Colorado, we get, in this fourth season, we get a lot of snow, and you can see it's just, they've had a tough year because of it. I mean, the deer are just starting to rut. They're going to rut anyway, whether it snows or not, but they got to come out of the high country, and they're still up in there. So it's been tough. We're not seeing the big bucks here.
One of the reasons we always come back here is we always see deer. And this year, you know, we were seeing 200 deer a day. Normally we're seeing 300 to 400 deer a day and a lot more bucks. Usually it's, okay, I see 3 or 4 really good bucks. I really want to, you know, take my time, pick a mature buck and find the one I want. And this year it was just a little bit, you know, slimmer pickings. You know, you're seeing 1 or 2 bucks and then you're not seeing them for a day or two. So, but one of the things that keeps us coming back to Colorado is just the amount of deer that we see.
Spotted a pretty good little buck over here. Clint found him. He's a really tall 4 with a small inline 5. Good buck, real heavy. His height's definitely going to make up for his width. He's a little bit narrow, but good looking buck for sure. Definitely the best buck we've seen so far. Probably have to go take a little closer look, see what we think.
Back to Colorado with Dean here at Bull Basin and Shermie and Eli. In 2015, we had seen a really big young buck. Every year we've gone back and looked for that buck. We knew he was probably only 2 years old at the time, maybe 3. And it's really the classic, you don't want to shoot a young buck, you want him to grow up. And you know, he wasn't a shooter then. He wasn't a shooter, but he was a beautiful buck. We knew he was going to grow into something.
The first day we went out, and we did a pretty good search of the ranch, and we'd been glassing this one side hill that always has a lot of bucks on it. We probably went over that hill just a dozen times, and there's a bunch of us there looking, and all of a sudden this buck just steps out. And it was without a shadow of a doubt. You know, Clint looks at me and he goes, "Hey, you want to shoot that buck?" I said, "No, buddy, this is your buck. This is yours. You haven't had a buck in 2 years. And this is your opportunity." And of course he started smiling, and so we went to action.
I don't see him anymore, do you?
He's right inside the brush right there. He's backing up. He's coming out again.
Well, he turned around and gave me a side shot. Didn't have a very good shot, but we had to hurry it up, put it on 300, and let him have it. So it's a good buck opening day here in Colorado. I'm excited. I don't get excited about deer too much.
Yeah, buddy. Dude, that was a great.
Good shot.
Dude, that was perfect. I thought he was gonna bail over that hill.
I had to go quick, dude. I had to go quick.
Dude, that was quick. That was awesome.
All right, boys.
Good shot. Hey, good shot.
Dino, thanks, buddy. This is a rare deal here. We got the man, and we feel kind of blessed because we got the man, huh?
Yeah, that was awesome. Great job, buddy.
Woo. I was shooting right through brush. Yeah. So the first one, I was like, I didn't have nothing.
He only had about another 5 steps, and he was gone.
That's what he said. I go, oh.
Yeah, you had to go quick. That was awesome. Good job, buddy.
Holy moly. That's cool, huh?
Dude, nice buck. Look at that.
Not wide.
Look at this.
Deep, heavy horns.
Dude, that is a great buck.
That's a cool buck.
Are you kidding me? Look at this.
Thanks, Eli.
Dude, that's a great buck.
Congrats, man. Whew. Thank you, man. That's good. That's right. He's very compact. I mean, you know, you like to see him, whatever. I just like a nice, tall 4-pointer. So day 1 here in Colorado, I got to shoot the new RMP 28. You know, this is a classic Colorado buck. I've never shot really a nice basket horn buck like this before, so I'm pretty happy. Everything we're looking for, we couldn't pass him up on day 1, and I'm the first one to go to the last day. So, you know, thanks to Dean and the boys out here, and having a great trip. So we didn't kill this buck in particular in 2015, and this is the reason why, because you can see he grew up to be a really cool buck, and I ended up getting to harvest him on opening day this year.
on day 2, we started glassing this same area and just really spending a lot of time over there, just combing every canyon, every ridge top, everywhere. And we saw a lot of deer, but not what we were used to seeing. And we're seeing lots of does, but lots of little bucks, lots of immature bucks. And so, you kind of had to turn that patient knob on and get ready to buckle in. And I'm always the fourth day guy. I usually always wait to the 4th day to shoot my buck, just because I want to, make sure, giving everything a good chance to look at and see what's coming through.
Day 2 here in Colorado. A lot colder this morning for sure, no clouds out. Just saw a pile of deer, a lot of rut activity, so it's definitely picking up. Probably saw about 30 does and one decent 3-point, acting pretty tough, chasing all the little bucks around, but looks like it, the rut's definitely starting to kick in, which is good. The bucks are starting to move, so hopefully we see something today. So Clint just spotted a buck. We split up today because he shot one yesterday, and we've been driving back on these ridges and walking out down in the canyons, and he just radioed us and said, hey, you might have found one to come look at, so we're headed to go look at him. So we'll go see what he looks like. Okay, so we just came down and checked out this buck that Clint had spotted that ran across the road in front of him, and he was a really nice buck. A little bit smaller than what Clint's yesterday, but he was a young buck. He has a lot of potential for growth, and doing the right thing and not shooting a buck like that so that he can be bigger next year. He's a really great buck, but we went and checked out another buck, and he was good 3, and now we just spotted another one. Their bucks are really on the prod today. So we're gonna go check out this other buck, see what he looks like. The rut's heavy on, the bucks are on the prod, they're moving. Seen a lot of bucks by themselves, out on ridge tops and sagebrush looking for does. So we just came back over to kind of the area where Clint shot his yesterday, and so hopefully we can find something from here again and make the move.
By day 3, it was getting cold in the mornings. It was getting down to about 12 degrees, so you're piled up and closed in the morning, and by the afternoon it's 55 degrees, so huge temperature swings. And the deer were really sporadic. Sometimes they'd be out in the sunshine, sometimes they wouldn't. So we were glassing all different times during the day. And day 3, I was starting to get a little bit discouraged, and just not seeing the quality of the bucks that we normally see out here.
I thought they were talking about that heavy 4. Oh. I'd shoot this buck. So there's a really cool 4x5 buck we spotted from freaking miles away. We just got a little closer look at him. We're about 800 yards. He's nice. He's got about a 5-inch inline, somewhere in there, 4 or 5-inch inline. Pretty nice buck. We're just trying to find out if we can get to him tonight before it gets dark or not, but he definitely a shooter buck for me anyways.
Did see a really cool 4-point I just about shot, and he was really cool. He gave us a really cool shot going up the hill, and I actually thought, wow, that's a really cool buck. It'd be really cool to take him, and we ended up letting him go. So we finally found the buck again on night 3, and he was quite a ways out there, about 1,000 yards, and we talked a little bit about maybe doing a stalk, but there's just does everywhere, potted everywhere, and we decided to back off of him, go give another area one more shot, and then if not, this buck, hopefully he'd be back where we were. So on the 4th morning, we did a really good glassing session over in this other location. Had some of the other guys, Clint and Mike, both harvested nice bucks, and they were over in another area glassing for me and our other guide, and they ended up finding this buck that I wanted to shoot. And we did a lot of video watching and a lot of picture looking, and our guide Chad put him down to bed, and then I came back from the other area and we went up, and sure enough, he was there with about 20-30 does. And man, did he put on a show for us. We hiked up, got set up on him, and the wind was blowing a lot more than we thought, and anybody that shoots it, you know, over 200 yards in the wind, your bullet drifts quite a bit. And we'd guessed the wind pretty good. It had the yardage perfect, and this buck just is chasing bucks around and does all around him, and it seemed like forever. I swear I felt like we'd been there for 30 minutes. A couple times I even got off the gun because you just, you know, the patience of waiting and making sure you make that good shot and there's no other deer around. Yeah. You done? Whew, that was a little intense because that buck just would not get clear of any of the does. I mean, he was just running, and he finally stopped and almost had a shot, and then he turned again. So we probably sat here, what, 5 minutes? Seemed like 5 minutes, but we just waited for the opportunity and made a shot about 500 yards. So it was awesome. Heart's beating a little bit. Whew.
Good job, dude. Nice shot, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I had it on safety when I pulled the trigger the first time. Pulled a little bit
shit.
hard.
Oh,
Reminded myself to take
breathe.
it nice and slow. Yeah. Well, I mean, how long did I lay there? It seemed like forever.
It did, but
Dude, it seemed like an eternity. Sherman just kept saying, "Hey, we got all the time in the world. Ain't going
they
nowhere."
just had the does kind of screwing you up there.
Well, yeah, he would never get clear, and then he went behind the rock.
That was awesome, dude. Congrats, man. That was a hell of a shot.
Yeah. He finally gave us the perfect opportunity and made a good shot. He was 1/4 and man, you know, he ran 30 yards and blood was pouring out and he was done. So there's lots of high fives, really exciting. Really, really cool buck. The reason I chose this buck is he has an inline 5. And so he's a 4x5, and he's just really unique buck, just really cool looking, and you know, just a really great opportunity out here.
So I was hunting with Justin this year. He passed up a really cool buck this morning that was probably 1 year class younger than the buck that I shot. Me and Mike grew up together, so our families grew up together, our grandparents grew up together. We go back a long ways, you know, and hunting mule deer is a family tradition for us. So this is kind of carries on the family tradition. Someday our kids will be able to come here and hopefully get a hunt with Shermy and these boys and carry it on. You know, that's part of what we do and part of the mule deer hunting that we do a lot of and love.
We always have a good time. We had a great cook this year, and you know, it's really fun. And then at night we get to go back to the lodge and just walk through the day and talk about all the excitement and you know, we joke around a lot and have a really good time. And that's one of the things that's, you know, it's really fun to be able to get together in the evenings with the camera guys and the guides and the outfitter and the cook and me and Butch and Clint and Mike, and we just have a great time. And you know, that's, you know, having that ability to come to a camp and know what you get and just having great people around you, and the whole experience from the time you pull up to the time you leave is just incredible.
Had a great week with the boys from Kryptek here in Colorado, and the Bull Basin boys had an unbelievable trip with these guys. So tune in next week, and we'll have another good show for you guys. Thanks for watching Prime Revolution.